Please welcome Reshmi Maharaj.
Sexy. Hi, everybody. I feel really proud and I'm privileged and honored to talk to you this morning about the customer satisfaction, the South African Customer Satisfaction Index, and I'm sure most of you have heard about it by now. SACSI, as we've known it. Very proud to say that SACSI is no longer a plan, but a fact, a very proud fact. And 14 years ago, somebody sitting in this room had a dream and a vision that customer experience is the differentiator, and that South African companies would need to transform and make dramatic changes in their companies to ensure sustainable bottom line growth. Professor Andre Schroeder, the founder, the guru, and the man behind SACSI, has just realized his dreams. As of the 1st of September 2012, SACSI has been accomplished. The NPC has been formed, and we've just had a first round of results, which I will share with you later in my presentation. It is the first national index of South Africa. It's one of its kind. It measures satisfaction across all industries, across all sectors and borders, also looking at international benchmarking. So let's get into it. If we look at the world and customer satisfaction globally, the areas highlighted in blue reflects countries that consider customer satisfaction as important. Now, if you look at Africa, and South Africa specifically, we actually don't feature. So if the time is not now, it has to be looking at how the economy is going and how things are moving along. So taking it a step back, if we look at the evolution of customer satisfaction, and if we look at the era of the 1950s, where TQM, Total Quality Management, where the focus was purely on quality and purely on enhancing quality and productivity in organizations. And then the era which changed that was ServQual, where in the 80s they realized we can't just offer a product without a humanist component, and hence we needed service, which needs to be delivered by a human, to deliver the quality and to deliver the product. So Parasuraman, I'm sure you've heard of him, actually invented or looked at the first customer measure, which was about expectation and satisfaction. We then realized in the early 90s or mid-90s, where it wasn't just about giving a service, it was about understanding a customer's interaction. And what it took was to understand a relationship. It wasn't about just understanding a product or having a relationship with a can of beans, but a relationship with a banker. So Shed, as we know him, looked at CRM systems and realized that CRM was very critical to business. CRM then, in the 2003s, the whole NPS era was born by Reenkelt, where he realized that it's about a sum of experiences. It wasn't just about an interaction, but a sum of experiences looking at the customer's 5 senses that was important to deliver satisfaction. So the question is, and I pose it to you, is customer experience a new satisfaction? Because if you go back, quality management, service quality, and relationship are key components of satisfaction. And many people say, well, satisfaction is dead, it's all about CEM. So is it truly, the question I pose then is, customer experience a new customer satisfaction? Anybody? Andre? Okay. If you look at the source at the bottom, it says, the literature in marketing relating retailing and service management historically has not considered customer experience as a separate construct. So in other words, customer satisfaction, the underlying CEM is, there's no difference. Are you with me? Okay. So let's put it into perspective. Where brand gives the promise, customer experience management is the physical delivery of this promise. So what we're saying is brand is the what, and the enabler to that promise is the how, which is customer experience management, which is vital in an economy where brand is increasingly built on value rather than product features. So let me put this into a model, and I love this slide, which actually puts it into perspective. The what, where's the pointer? Again, the brand is the what. So if we look at any company, F&B, how can I help you? It makes the promise of how can I help you? Experience enables that to happen. So across that company's product system, people, product segment, every single staff member, people, need to ensure that that promise is enabled. Okay? And keeping that promise consistently all the time is getting the customer lifelong management. And that essentially is your loyal customer, who will then advocate your brand. Customer experience management is an enabler to deliver the brand at every touch point that the customer will make with your organization, at every moment of truth. Across all, you now realize the enormity of what customer experience management is. It's a cross-functional approach across the entire organization. And often, we as professionals are diluted in a marketing structure or in a call center environment, when actually speaking, you are actually enabling the bottom line across people, systems, process segments, at every touch point at that delivery interface. That's how critical CEM is to the bottom line. And in order for your customers to be loyal, sorry, goodness, you would need them to consistently deliver that at every single moment to ensure lifetime value. Okay. So there is a myth out there, and I want to dispel the myth. And the myth is customer satisfaction is worthless, but loyalty is priceless. And to dispel the myth, the answer is customer loyalty without satisfaction is a contradiction of the basic mechanics of the free market system and violates the cause and effect relationship between satisfaction and loyalty. So there's a distinct cause and effect relationship between satisfaction and loyalty. And I'm going to show you that now. Has anyone seen the slide before? It talks about the relationship of satisfaction and loyalty. Well, essentially what it states is that in your satisfaction failure and the satisfaction zone of indifference and zone of delight, ideally every company or every one of us aspires to want to be between 8 and 10, which is your brand advocate, and that's where you want to be in the zone of delight. A customer that is satisfied and where we're meeting the customer expectations sits between 6 to 8, and obviously below the customer's expectation is in your satisfaction failure. Aspiration is to get to the top of the curve, which is satisfaction delight. So often, we as South African companies, and South African companies are notorious, because they believe if I'm meeting my customer's expectation, my customer is satisfied, it's okay. When in fact, you're actually measuring mediocrity. And often, South African companies struggle to get out of the zone of indifference, because you cannot keep the momentum to constantly delight your customers. And this is critical if you really want to achieve and aspire to get loyal customers and advocate your brand. So let's bring this all back home to the South African reality of where we are. South Africa, complex by nature and unique, with the distinct gap between rich and poor, inequalities, literacy levels, language barriers, completely diverse. There was a need to bring in a national index to understand and to deliver against expectations and exceed customers' expectations. So what did we do? We brought about a South African Customer Satisfaction Index, which is a national economic indicator of customer evaluations of the quality in products and services available to household consumers in South Africa. We have a license agreement, so SAcsi is the only South African company who has a license agreement with a global leader, which I'm going to show you now, utilizing their proven methodology as the global leader. ACSI, as we know it, is the American Satisfaction Index, which is the global customer satisfaction leader in the world. They subscribe, or they sort of utilize their proven methodology across many industries, across many countries, and we've adopted theirs for South Africa. This is the model. I'm going to talk to you a little bit later about the detail, but essentially it's about perceived overall quality, customer expectations, value, quality, satisfaction, and then complaints and loyalty. So some of ACSI findings over the last 16 years, and there's more interesting slides I want to show you, and I'm not sure how much time I have, but let's just go through this. Their findings, what was mentioned, was that customer satisfaction is a leading indicator of financial performance. In other words, the more satisfied your customers, the better your financial performance as a company. Changes in customer satisfaction affect the general willingness to buy. Changes in customer satisfaction correlate with changes in GDP growth, and quality plays a more important role than price. Okay? So to understand and to further take this down the line in terms of satisfaction and market value, Klaus Fornell, who was the founder of the American Customer Sat Index, he created a hedge fund with different shares by different schemes, and he plotted the top 20 American Customer Satisfaction Index companies, which is highlighted in green, and then he took the bottom 20 companies, which is plotted in the pink, and showed the distinct difference in terms of market value over time. And as you can see clearly that the top companies has a direct link to market value, who are focused on customer satisfaction. So how did we do this? So as you can see, American Customer Satisfaction Index has licensed all these other countries, the UK, Sweden, Turkey, and you can go through the list, across the globe. And now, it proudly, and quite South African proud, is that we now feature as part of the rest of the countries who have a license to conduct the study. So what will SAcsi do for you? I mean, there's no point in us investing in this and doing all of this if it's not about just service, it's about the South African economy. What will it do? It will bring us economic returns. I mean, if it's not about that, then we're just wasting our time. It will give us economic stability. It will create the economic link. It will bring about economic welfare, and it will create economic output. That's exactly what it has done in the American customer set. So this is the SACSI model. What we're saying is that perceived overall quality, which looks at the overall customization and reliability, customer expectation, which looks at the overall customization and reliability, and perceived value, which is your price and your quality given price. And then it looks at customer satisfaction, which is about satisfaction and confirming and disconfirming expectations, which then looks at customer complaints, which is your behavioral component, and then loyalty, looking at your repurchase likelihood and price tolerance. This is the construct of how the ACSI model was designed, which we've adopted in South Africa. I'm going to talk to you just now a little bit more about that, how it works. On the left-hand side is your satisfaction drivers. So in other words, these are the three bubbles that contribute to customer satisfaction, so they're your drivers. And on the right-hand side is your outcomes, which is your customer complaints. If it's bad, it's a negative, and if it's positive, then you have loyal customers. So essentially, it's the drivers and the outcomes that will give you the customer satisfaction. SACSI has a governance. As you can see, we have the global partnership and the license. You can see that it is housed. We have an academic support with the Center for Communication and Reputation Management, which is housed at the University of Pretoria under Professor Jadon. The data collection aspect of SACSI is being handled by Consulta, And there is an independent board of directors, a board of advisors, founding members that are on board, and subscribers and non-subscribers. And all of you have a brochure with you. So in the brochure, there's more detail. And I mean, in the break, if you want to have any more questions other than what we can do now, you're most welcome to. And Audrey is in the room as well, so if there's any further questions on this. So SAcsi has taken off. What we've done in the last quarter of 2012, the measurement was looking at mobile telecom networks. We looked at telecom stores. We looked at banking, gaming, life insurance, and short-term insurance. In total, 6 industries, 31 companies, and a sample of 13,319. What we're currently busy with in this quarter is petroleum, service stations, airlines, fast food outlets, health insurance, mobile handsets, and supermarkets, looking at 6 industries, 60 to 72 companies, and a total sample of 9,550. What's up in the from quarter 2 to quarter 4 of 2013 is hotels, magazines, restaurants, automobiles, discount stores, specialty retail stores, hospitals, internet service providers, consumer electronics, beverages, soft drinks, household appliances. We're looking at 12 industries, 35 companies, and a total sample of 18 to 20,000. So in 1 year, if you can look at a summary of what we would have achieved, is 24 industries with 37,000 interviews and 121 brands that will be touched. And the totals this is for the first year, which is from quarter 4, 2012 to this year, quarter 3, 2013. So very quickly, I want to give you a sneak preview of some of the results that we've just released. And I'm sure you've seen that in the media in the last 2 weeks. If you haven't, I'm going to share with you some of it quickly now. What SAcsi will give you, and we can get detailed breakdowns of these, but I'm going to show you through via industry on an industry level, is SAcsi will, this is a predictive model. So it will customize, the model is customized for each industry, where again, I call it the buttons or the indices, and on each indices, you'll see impact scores. Now, we're looking at the gaming industry, for example. So how does it actually work, or how the model is actually designed, is that if you look at customer expectations, and if you add 5 points to expectations, your impact scores, which is the scores on the arrows, will increase by 0.81 to satisfaction. I just want to use the pointer here. So if we increase customer expectations by 5 points, your satisfaction will be 0.81, your perceived value will be a 1, and your customer expectations will, on overall quality will be a 4.22 score. The reason why we use the 5 points is because it's realistic yet ambitious, and it's an extrapolation of the SAcsi model. And so we have it for the mobile telecoms industry and for the banking industry. As I said, it's a predictive model, and it's customized for every industry, and that's how it's been designed. The next thing that SAcsi can give you is an industry growth inclination view of your company, or, well, now we're looking at industry, where, as you can see, it gives you the inclination of how likelihood your customers will purchase additional products and services. And if you look at gaming, for example, 50% of the respondents in the gaming industry have said that if you have more products and services, their likelihood to purchase would be that percentage, 50%, which is great. More SAcsi will give you is satisfaction relative to growth. So looking at the inclination, here, as you can see, the graphs look very similar, which looks at overall satisfaction score and likelihood to purchase additional products are very similar. So what this actually says is that the more satisfied your customer is, the more likelihood that customer is going to buy from you. And so that's the gaming one, that's the banking one, and that's, yeah. So SAcsi, apart from this, just the results, there's added benefits. You're going to get a national sentiment index, which is powered by Clarabridge. I'm sure you've heard of Clarabridge. Clarabridge is a global leader in text analytics and sentiment. And also a TCF index. And I know that Leanne Jackson from the FSB is talking to you on TCF, so you'll get to know more about it, but I'll tell you a little bit now. What the SAcsi sentiment index will tell you is that 5 being very positive and negative 5 being very negative, if you look at the sentiment, it's actually your customer sentiment about your brand, utilizing verbatims and analyzing that. That tells you what the customer is actually feeling about it. So in this industry, as you can see, banking is 1.15, which actually states that it's either, it's not bad, but neither is it really positive. So that's the sentiment of how customers feel about banking in South Africa. And so for mobile networks and gaming. TCF is treating customers fairly, so this is very much alive and well in the banking sector, where it's governed by 7 principles. And with SACSI and the enhancement that you'll be getting is that we would utilize this as part of the measurement results. So you would indirectly be measured on these contributing factors. And I just want to tell you what it states, because it's important. You are confident that fair treatment of customers is central to the bank's corporate culture. The bank offers products and services that address your specific needs. The bank always provides you with transparent and easy to understand information. The bank provides you with advice that is suitable for specific circumstances. The bank delivers products and services as they lead you to expect. The bank makes it easy to either charge products, complain claims, or consider another bank. And the bank treats you with respect, and there is an open win-win relationship. So what SACSI will bring to you is that they would start rating you on these principles or these 7 guidelines in terms of your company and break it down in terms of what your customers are thinking regarding this. These are some of the media clippings that have been in most websites and media, newspapers, etc., over the last 2 weeks on SACSI, because we've released the mobile banking and gaming industry results. Just by show of hands, how many people are aware of this or have seen this? Not many. Okay, that's sad, because who's doing this in your companies? So we are, as South Africa, on the map. I mean, we're there. The question then I pose to you is, are you? Are you there? Are you part of the South African industry who takes satisfaction as critically important to create economic value? So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Reshmi. I think what I got from it, and I'm sure you got a lot more, but is that loyalty is awarded and customer satisfaction is managed. Am I right?
Yes.
Cool.